I am so excited to share with you guys exactly how I was able to pass Med-Surg the real breeze, which is why I wanted to create this video here for you guys. Before class had started, I made sure that I was able to research the topic, and I particularly got a book called Med-Surgical Nursing by Demystified. I bought this book. It was nothing that I had to read for prior to school, so I just decided to do my own research because I just didn't want to go into school dumbfounded and really not know anything about Med-Surg. It's really a great idea just to always look and do a little bit of research before entering your class. By this time, I didn't receive any information on the book that we had to buy. I didn't receive anything like that yet, so I just had a lot of spare time, and this is what I just decided to do. So immediately when I entered my second semester, I made it a priority for me to get a friend's number. And I did this because two reasons. For one, it was really good to study with someone from Med-Surg and also to bounce ideas back and forth, because sometimes your friend might know something that you may not know, and it really helps out. And also because just in case when the semester gets a little bit too hectic, I could always ask this other individual if any assignments were due and if anything was up and coming. So this is a great idea, and I definitely would recommend getting someone's number from your class. The third recommendation that I would definitely tell someone to do is to record the lectures. It is so important to record the lectures because when you are doing any chores around the house, or even on your spare time off, or even when you decide to take a walk, you can always refer back to the lectures. It's really a great necessity to have, because even when you're doing your notes, you could always go back to a certain part within the lecture, and let's say that if you're taking down your notes and you missed that certain part, you have it there. So it's really a great idea to actually do this in class. A great tip that I wanted to share with you guys is writing down your lab values and also writing down your diseases. This comes in hand when you have to memorize your lab values. For example, I did a previous video explaining how I did this chart, which specifically is based upon a mnemonic called My Photographer Please Calls for Cheese and Smiles. So it's from magnesium all the way to sodium, and this is going to be one of the lab values that you're going to have to memorize prior to this class. So writing down these lab values definitely accounts for a lot of memorization tips that you're able to use. Even if you do not like to write down, you could always use your computer and write down the lab values and create your own notes. It's a lot to do, but it's going to be really helpful when it's time for your exam. aside from writing everything down, when I'm in class, what I do for lecture is I also bring in a couple of colored pencils and I write down my notes when the professor is talking. I do not like to write everything in pencil because it's so much information, and sometimes just looking at one color could actually confuse me. So I like to write things out in color, and specifically for certain parts that the teacher emphasizes, I would draw like a star in the within the color red, because that I know when I will go back and study my notes, this is something that I would have to remember, and it's very important. Certain books have extra resources that you're able to obtain and use. For example, my Davis Advantage book comes with case studies, also connection checks, and many other activities that I'm able to use. This in particular is a case study that I did, and what I do is after I'm finished with the chapter, I like to do the case studies and also the extra work that is attached within the chapters, because it helps me understand the chapter and the diseases a little bit more in depth. And also, I like to go over the rationales to figure out exactly why the answers are the way that they are. I found it really helpful to write notes beside the answers to the questions, because when it was time for me to get ready for an exam, what I would do is I would go over all of this information, and when I didn't have time to read over the rationales, I would have a little note beside the answer that is chosen, and it just makes time go by a little bit faster. I heard many scary stories, and I'm not trying to freak anyone out, but I did hear within my school that anyone that feels like Med-Surg is basically done. Okay? I don't want to scare anyone, but I just wanted to be prepared, and that's what that comment led me to do. So I would definitely recommend to read the book. It is a little bit difficult to understand where to focus on, but I did realize that a lot of my exam questions came from safety alert boxes, as well as other boxes that are highlighted in red. Other boxes that are really important to keep an eye out would be like any boxes that indicate tables, like this, for example, table 10.4, Infusion Nurse Society phlebitis scale. It's very important to just go over those boxes and not to skip any other boxes, because a lot of them tend to be on the exams. Just remember to keep an eye out for those boxes. I use YouTube videos to help me understand exactly the diseases and the process of the diseases on my spare time. And sometimes when I would read through the chapters and I totally had no clue on exactly what was, occurring within the process of these diseases, what I would do is I would go through YouTube videos to help me understand exactly what these diseases meant. There are a ton of videos out there, and they're so great. I mean, there's so many videos to choose from. Nurses Lab is a great resource to use. Nurses Lab is based off NCLEX practice questions. I would use this website when I was finished with all of the assignments. I would use this website mainly to study for my upcoming exam. I would basically quiz myself with questions pertaining to the chapters. This website is totally free, and I love how when I'm able to test myself, it actually gives me the rationales, and there is so much more information provided within this website, and it's something that I'll definitely recommend. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope that what I'm doing is able to help someone out, because I know nursing school is not easy and we all want to be able to pass, right? So hopefully what I did is going to be able to help someone out. And thank you guys so much for watching.